Yeah. Yo. We didn't choose each other the way family chooses the dice. Of the same building, the same block, the spice. A circus being throwing 5 strangers into the same vice. Gripper growing up, but 20 years later the price of that accident reads like destiny. The thread pulled tight by shared hunger, the bread. Split it, leave it when one of us had none. The bled together loyalty that actually tested the dead. Serious commitment that develops when you've watched each other survive things. When you botch things together and fix them together to notch. Belt a mutual witness, blood gets you watched. Over by obligation, this was different. Earned through years of actually showing up. The burn bridges we never built between us. The turn pages of a shared book nobody else has read. Brothers by the block, not the blood. The years made it true. Showed up when it mattered, that's the only proof. We needed from each other, no ceremony required. Brothers by the block, the bond that never tired. Brothers by the block, not the blood. The years made it true. Showed up when it mattered, that's the only proof. We needed from each other, no ceremony required. Brothers by the block, the bond that never tired. Darius slept on my floor for 4 months in '91. Nobody made a thing of it, the unspoken agreement that you take care of your own. The broken situation he was in didn't need explaining. The open door policy that brotherhood requires. Without the asking, I stayed at his place the year my own ran out. Of stability, we never kept score. The route of the relationship wasn't transactional. The about face from stranger to family happened so gradual. None of us marked the day it became actual. Permanent, the blood brothers in movies are factual. About the ceremony, we never needed the ritual. Just years of actually being there. The radical simplicity, your loyalty, proving I promise the practical. Brotherhood that shows up at 4 a.m. without the tactical hesitation that blood sometimes brings. Brothers by the block, not the blood. The years made it true. Showed up when it mattered, that's the only proof. We needed from each other, no ceremony required. Brothers by the block, the bond that never tire. Brothers by the block, not the blood. The years made it true. Showed up when it mattered, that's the only proof. We needed from each other, no ceremony required. Brothers by the block, the bond that never tire. We're scattered across 3 states now. The years and the distance testing what proximity built. The fears that distance dissolves things, prove wrong. The careers and the families we built separately still steers back to the same loyalty. Darius called me in March just to talk, no occasion. The arch of 30 years bending toward the same starch foundation. Brothers by the block, the march of time hasn't moved us apart. Brothers by the block, not the blood. The years made it true. Showed up when it mattered, that's the only proof. We needed from each other, no ceremony required. Brothers by the block, the bond that never tired. Brothers by the block, not the blood. The years made it true. Showed up when it mattered, that's the only proof. We needed from each other, no ceremony required. Brothers by the block, the bond that never tired. 91 Darius on my floor. 3 states apart now, we called in March just to talk. That's brotherhood.
Mr. Theo cleared the lot himself in '89. 6 dumpsters of garbage, 3 months of his time. Nobody asked him to, nobody helped at first. The vacant lot garden, born from one man's thirst.
The lot had been empty since the fire in '76. A burned out building never rebuilt. The fix that the city promised and never delivered. The tricks of the bureaucratic timeline, the politics of low priority neighborhoods. Mr. Theo looked at the rubble every day from his window. The echo of the wasted space bothering him. The credo he developed, if nobody else will, I will. The motto became action in March of '89. He started hauling debris, the design of the cleanup entirely his own. The fine line between civic duty and stubbing the line. He didn't think about just walk sticks, dumpsters, a garbage and rubble, the imposters of broken concrete and rusted metal. The mustard strength of a 63-year-old man, unflustered by the scale of the job, just methodical.
Mr. Theo cleared the lot himself in '89. Mr. Theo cleared the lot himself in '89.
By June, he cleared half of it, people noticed. The block had watched him daily, the unnoticed. Became impossible to ignore the closeted skepticism of the neighbors. Half deposited the doubt, half their respect. Mrs. Alvarez brought tools one Saturday, then others. The drought of community and involvement, ending the route from one man's project to the collective bout of solo labor becoming shared mission. By August they had tops saw the addition of actual gardening, beginning the transition from clear lot to planted rows, the rendition of Mr. Theo's vision becoming real with other hands now. 12 families, the deal struck informally. Clear a plot, plan what you feel, share the harvest. The garden became the seal of the block's collective effort. Brass stab alone, bass on one kick, hard vinyl snare. Mr. Teal's gone now, past the 98. The garden's named after in the estate of his stubbornness lives in the gate. At the entrance with his name, the great inheritance of one man's 3 months of labor, multiplied by years of neighbors. Telling what he started, the flavor of tomatoes grown in the lot. Nobody wanted the favor. He did the block without being asked. Mr. Theo cleared the lot himself in '89. 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 76 to 589. Mr. Theo 6 dumpsters. Nobody, now, 76 to 589. Mr. Theo 6 dumpsters. Nobody, now, scout.
Four names from my graduating class are gone now. Not moved away, not lost touch, gone to hell. Worries, one accident, two to the street, one a vow. Broken with his own hand. The endowment of survival comes with obligations. Nobody states out loud. The stations of grief don't have a final destination. You carry it forward with the foundation of who you become, partly built from who you've lost. I don't say their names enough. The cost of forgetting feels worse than the cost of remembering. The embossed weight of 4 faces I see less clearly each year. That scares me more than the grief itself. The fear of the fading, the unclear edges of a memory you're supposed to keep clear forever and can't. That's the real debt.
What I owe the ones who left isn't grief on a schedule. It's living the years they didn't get to. The symbol, brutal math of survival. The weight I've always told. What I owe the ones who left, I'm still paying, getting. What I owe the ones who left isn't grief on a schedule. It's living the years they didn't get to. The simple, brutal math of survival. The weight I've always hold. What I owe the ones who left, I'm still paying, getting old.
Marcus wanted to open a restaurant. Talked about it constantly, senior year to doubt. Nobody voiced, but everyone felt the route. He never got to take, I think about that sometimes when I'm building something of my own. Not guilt exactly, more like a tone of obligation to actually use the time he wasn't alone. Enough of that's not healthy, fully grown. Grief doesn't operate on borrowed purpose, but early on I needed something to hold on to. Surely something to make his death mean more than purely loss. I let that go mostly maturely. I understand his life had its own worth. Regardless of what I build with mine, the earth doesn't know meaning to anyone's death. The dearth of cosmic justice and who lives still. The birth of my own ambition has his fingerprint somewhere in it.
What I owe the ones who left isn't grief on a schedule. It's living the years they didn't get to. The simple, brutal math of survival. The weight I'll always hold. What I owe the ones who left, I'm still paying, getting. What I owe the ones who left isn't grief on a schedule. It's living the years they didn't get to. The simple, brutal math of survival. The weight I'll always hold. What I owe the ones who left, I'm still paying, getting old.
I visit where Marcus is buried twice a year now. Less than I used to, that's not a betrayal somehow. I've learned grief changes shape. The vow isn't broken by getting easier. The endowment continues different than it started. I carry 4 names heavy hearted. Some days lighter, others the departed. Don't need me suffering, they need me departed from guilt. Just living honestly and
what I owe the ones who left isn't grief on a schedule. It's living the years they didn't get to. The simple, brutal math of survival. The weight I'll always hold. What I owe the ones who left, I'm still paying, getting old.
Yeah. 4 names, wanted a restaurant. I visit twice a year now. Less skill. More honest living. That's the debt. That's the debt. That's the debt. That's the debt.
The teacher who read mine like she meant it, 4th grade. Mrs. Ellis red pen, every margin, every page. She didn't read for mistakes, she read for the thing. The teacher who read mine, that's what attention can bring. Most teachers rate for errors, you know the feeling. You get the paper back, and the red is on the spelling. The grammar, the period you forgot. Mrs. Ellis read for what you were trying to say, that's a different thing. She handed mine back in November, and the margins were full, not corrections. Questions, what do you mean here? Say more about this, where did this idea come from? She wanted to know what was in my head, not what I done wrong. I never had that before, I didn't know what to do with it. I wrote back in the margins, she wrote back to my margins. We had a conversation in the margins of an essay about a field trip to the aquarium. The essay was supposed to be 1 page, it became 4 pages of margins. She gave me an A, she wrote, you have things to say, say them. Say them. The teacher who read mine like she meant it, 4th grade. Mrs. Ellis red pen, every margin, every page. She didn't read for mistakes, she read for the thing. The teacher who read mine, that's what attention bring. The teacher who read mine like she meant it, 4th grade. Mrs. Ellis red pen, every margin, every page. She didn't read for mistakes, she read for the thing. The teacher who read mine, that's what attention can bring. I wrote differently after that, not better grammar, that came later. I wrote like someone was going to read it for what I meant, not for what I got wrong. That's a different posture, you sit up differently, you choose words differently, you risk more. Before Mrs. Ellis I wrote small, the minimum is safe to get it done. After Mrs. Ellis I wrote like the margins were part of the assignment, like the thinking was the point. It took me years to know what she gave me. At the time I just knew that I didn't dread English class anymore. That's not a small thing, dread takes up a lot of space. When it went away, there was room for something else. Brass stab alone, bass on 1 kick, hard vinyl snare 2. I tried to find her once, 20 years later. Retired, someone told me Florida. I wrote a letter to the school asking them to forward it. I don't know if they did, I don't know if she got it. I said 4th grade, the aquarium essay, the margins. You have things to say. I said I kept saying them. That's all. Some thank yous don't arrive, you send them anyway. The teacher who read mine like she meant it, 4th grade. Mrs. Ellis red pen, every margin, every page. She didn't read for mistakes, she read for the thing. The teacher who read mine, that's what attention can bring. The teacher who read mine like she meant it, 4th grade. Mrs. Ellis red pen, every margin, every page. She didn't read for mistakes, she read for the thing. The teacher who read mine, that's what attention can bring. November, Eutherium essay, 4 pages of margins. The aquarium essay, 4 pages of margins. Aquarium essay, I kept singing them. Mrs. Ellis.
Borrowed $20, said I pay him by Friday. Spent it on the tape and did it my way. And Friday came around and my pockets were clean. The hardest lesson that a 10-year-old seen. Yo, it was Marcus's money from his paper route run. He trusted me with it, thought the favor was done. I was supposed to buy the shoes or something for school, but I saw the new album and acted a fool. Bought the cassette, listened to it all night, knowing deep down that the math wasn't right. When Friday morning came, Marcus looked at my hand, waiting for the return of what we had planned. I had to tell him the truth, no excuses to make, just the raw reality of my own mistake. He didn't yell, didn't make a big scene, but the distance between us grew cold and lean. That was worse than a fight, worse than a blow. When someone you call brother lets the trust go. I spent 3 weeks working double the time, cleaning up basements just to find every dime. Brought the $20 back on a rainy afternoon. Learned that respect evaporates too soon. If you don't keep your word, if you treat it like play, the debt stays with you even after you pay. Now I borrowed $20 that I pay him by Friday. Spent it on the tape and did it my way. Then Friday came around and my pockets were clean. The hardest lesson that a 10-year-old seen. The war $20 that I pay him by Friday. Spent it on the tape and did it my way. Then Friday came around and my pockets were clean. The hardest lesson that a 10-year-old seen. The walk to his building was heavy and slow. 2 weeks of avoiding them, letting it grow into a mountain out of a small green bill. That mistake in my stomach felt bitter and chill. He was sitting on the steps with his younger cousin, talking about the teams, counting stats by the dozen. I walked up straight, didn't look to the side. Handed him the cash, had no reason to hide. He took it, checked the count, put it right in his pocket. Then he looked up at me like a key in the lock. He said, "We good now, but remember the date. Real brothers don't make each other wait." That was the whole speech, no extra words added. The lesson was landed, the pride was deflated. I realized then that the currency spent wasn't just money, it was what the bond meant. Borrowed $20, said I pay him by Friday. Spent it on a tape and did it my way. And Friday came around and my pockets were clean. The hardest lesson that a 10-year-old seen. Borrowed $20, said I pay him by Friday. Spent it on a tape and did it my way. And Friday came around and my pockets were clean. The hardest lesson that a 10-year-old seen. I never borrowed a dollar from a friend since then. Keep my account straight, whether now or back when. The paper route money taught me how to be square, to respect the effort that put the cash there. Marcus and me kept the history intact because I came back and corrected the fact. Borrowed $20, said I pay him by Friday. Spent it on a tape and did it my way. And Friday came around and my pockets were clean. The hardest lesson that a 10-year-old seen. Paper route money, the new cassette Friday morning. 3 weeks of cleaning basements. Real brothers don't make each other wait.
Ram on the left side of mine head. Ram on the left side of mine head. Ram on the left side of mine head. Ram on the mic, on the right, on the left side of mine head.
Buy for 60, sell for $1. The collar of the microeconomy, the scholar of the markup, the holler of the customer, the dollar. Store on Atlantic, my wholesale supplier, the buyer, and the seller in the same flyer, the multiplier of the 40-cent margin, the plier of the schoolyard commerce, the qualifier is inventory management, the amplifier of the hustle is the reliable supplier. I buy 10 bars for $6 flat, sell each one for $1 at the back of the school, the track record of the lunchtime rack. 40 cents a bar, 10 bars a day, $4 clear. The math of the 12-year-old cashier, inventory margin, reinvest, no fear. The 40-cent hustle runs the frontier. 40 cents a bar, 10 bars a day, $4 clear. The math of the 12-year-old cashier, inventory margin, reinvest, no fear. Up the 40-cent hustle runs the frontier. Competition is Terrence who sells the chips. The relationships of the cafeteria economy, the tips of the hat to the customer loyalty, the grips of the market share. My candy versus his Doritos, the vetoes of the teacher who confiscated the mosquitoes of the underground lunch trade, the bravados of the 5th grade merchant. I diversified in November, applied the principle of the cross sell, the allied products gone beside the candy, the relied upon expansion. Terrence counted with the soda, the coda of the competitive, the pagoda of the schoolyard stock exchange, the baroda. 40 cents a bar, 10 bars a day, $4 clear. The math of the 12-year-old cashier, inventory margin, reinvest, no fear. Up the 40-cent hustle runs the frontier. 40 cents a bar, 10 bars a day, $4 clear. The math of the 12-year-old cashier, inventory margin, reinvest, no fear. Up the 40-cent hustle runs the frontier. Red stab alone, bass on one kick. All vinyl snare too. The teacher shut it down in March, confiscated the inventory, the fascinated administrator who investigated the cafeteria economy, the berated 5th grade merchants. Terrence and I devastated for a week, then relocated the operation to the yard, the reinstated hustle adapted to complicated resilience of the 12-year-old margin, the bargain hunting of the relaunch, the jargon of the playground adjusted to Fargo when the teacher's jurisdiction, the 40-cent empire rebuilt on different cement, the rent of the relocated is spent, capital recovered the percent. 40 cents a bar, 10 bars a day, $4 clear. The math of the 12-year-old cashier, inventory margin, reinvest, no fear. The 40-cent hustle runs the frontier. The dollar store still sells the same bars for 60. Terrence does accounting out of crispy. Irony of the cafeteria, the wispy. Trail of the 40-cent hustle, the Mississippi. The landlord's cousin handle repair starting in March. The landlord's cousin handle repair starting in March. The landlord's cousin handle repairs starting in March. Showed up late, did half the work, left things in the dark. For weeks at a time, the building learned to live around him. The landlord's cousin, what nepotism did. Dwayne wasn't qualified, that was obvious. By April, the botch radiated job on the 3rd floor to watch. Disaster of his learning curve, the notch. Belt of complaints filed against him, the blotched reputation of the building's maintenance. But he was family, abeyance of accountability. That nepotism grants the conveyance of the job through blood instead of competence. The pretense of professionalism worn loose on a man who couldn't tell you the use of half his tools. The landlord's noose of obligation to his cousin loose. Enough that nobody got fired. The math of family loyalty over the wrath of bad tenants. The well-worn path of the unqualified protected the bath of consequences that never came. The landlord's cousin handled repairs starting in March. The landlord's cousin handled repairs. The landlord's cousin handled March. Chen's heat was out for 9 days in January. Dwayne came twice, said he'd be back, the cautionary tale of his unreliability, the customary excuse, the temporary fixes that fail within the week, the complaint line went nowhere. Dwayne's family saint status protected him to faint. Hope of competent repair grew faint. At each season the building organized. Eventually 6 units realized, together their complaints capitalized on a collective voice finalized. A formal letter to the landlord he listened, because 6 voices together glisten. With the threat of legal action he christened a new arrangement. Dwayne assisted a real contractor after that supervised. The cousin still worked but realized through the building's organized pressure that family only goes so far. The landlord's cousin handled repairs starting in March. The landlord's cousin handled repairs starting the landlord's cousin handled repairs. The landlord's cousin handled repairs starting in March. The landlord. Miss Chen's heat got fixed properly in February. The lesson of the building, the customary power of complaint is weak alone, the necessary strength is collective. Dwayne's still around secondary. Now to someone who actually knows the trade. The building learned what individual complaints can't trade for what 6 tenants together made. The landlord's cousin handled repairs starting in March. The landlord's cousin handled repairs starting in March. The landlord's cousin handled repairs. The landlord's cousin handled March, Dwayne, January, 9 days, no heat, 6 units organized, February. Thick real contractor now. Give them up the devil when the all restack. Give them up the devil when the all restack. Give them up the devil when the all restack.
Yo, 6 minutes stuck between the 9th and 10th floor. The elevator died, just me and a woman I never seen before. We didn't panic, didn't talk much either. 6 minutes of silence with a stranger to leisure. The lights flickered once and the car stopped moving. The slight lurch of mechanical failure, the polite initial silence of 2 strangers, the trite small talk. Neither of us offered the plight of the shared inconvenience without the obligation of friendship. She pressed the alarm, the station, the building security answered the confirmation that help was coming. 15 minutes estimation, we settled into the wait differently. She sat on the floor indifferently, calm like this had happened before. I efficiently stood by the door, the deficiently laced phone position of standing near an exit that wasn't opening. We didn't expect it to last past the estimate, we didn't direct it. Talk, conversation, the respect of 2 people choosing silence together. A 6 minutes stuck between the 9th and 10th floor. A 6 minutes stuck between the 9th and 10th floor. You know, around minute 4 she said, you live on 12, I said 11. She said, I've seen you, the shelf, a small recognition. The self-contained, nah, the city lived living. 12 more minutes, we talk nothing important. The limits of elevator conversation, the spirits of two people passing time. The merits of small talk revealed themselves, not depth, just company. The breadth of human connection doesn't need depth to matter. We talked about the building, the breadth of how long we lived there, nothing more. When the doors finally open on the 9th floor, we both got out, said take care of the core of the interaction, complete the store, a shared experience, small but real.
Never run, but never win the war.
6 minutes stuck between the 9th and 10th floor.
Give 'em up, but never win the ball, makes that.
6 minutes stuck between the 9th and 10th floor.
Give 'em up, but never win the ball,
Yo, 6 minutes stuck between the 9th and 10th floor.
Give 'em up, but never win the ball, makes that.
I see her in the lobby sometimes now. We nod, we don't stop to talk the how. But strangers becoming familiar without becoming friends, that is own thing. The doubt about whether 6 minutes creates a bond resolved itself. It creates a small respond, obvious, a nod that goes beyond. Anonymous, not friendship, just beyond.
Give 'em up, but never win the ball.
6 minutes stuck between the 9th and 10th floor.
Give 'em up, but never win the ball, makes that.
6 minutes stuck between the 9th and 10th floor.
Give 'em up, but never win the ball, makes that.
6 minutes stuck between the 9th and 10th floor.
Give 'em up, but never win the ball, makes that.
6 minutes stuck between the 9th and 10th floor.
Give 'em up, but never win the ball, makes that.
Yeah, minute 4:12, 11:15 minutes total. We talk, said take care, still not in the lobby. Minute 4:12, 11:15 minutes total. We talk, said take care, still not in the lobby.
That's where the value's at. Hope lesson.
Nobody remembers the one big thing you did. They remember if you showed up to bid. For respect isn't one in a single moment. The lid stays on most of life's real tests. The hid, then curriculum of just being present. The grand gesture gets the applause, but the standard that actually matters is the planned and unplanned. Showing up the unmanned. Consistency of just being there. I learned this late. Spent years chasing the moment that wins. The room, the single play that begins and ends. The conversation, the discipline of just being reliable. Felt boring at 23. By 30, I understood the currency. A presence is worth more than any urgency. Of impressive, the people who stayed in my life weren't the ones with the loudest entrance. They were the ones who showed up the next day and the next. The runs, a small reliable action. The sums add up to something permanent. The currency is showing up is the only one that compounds. Not the speech, not the moment, not the impressive sounds. Just the next day and the next day after that. The currency is showing up. 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 My father wasn't a talker, never gave a speech about what mattered, never tried to teach through words. He showed up the reach of his presence at every important moment. The breach never happened. That was the whole lesson delivered without a single sentence about it. I considered for years that he didn't say enough. I shivered at the silence sometimes. Wanted to deliver wisdom in words, but the wisdom was the showing up. Every game, every recital, the cup of his attention never running dry. The corrupt, I will promise other fathers made him broke. The abrupt absence that other kids learned to expect. My father just kept showing up, decade after decade, rather than explaining why it mattered to gather ed. Weight of 1,000 small presents, a father who taught the whole lesson through attendance alone. The currency is showing up. The currency is showing up is the only one that compounds. Not the speech, not the moment, not the impressive sounds. Just the next day and the next day after that. The currency is showing up. That's the values at. The currency is showing up. That's the values at. The currency is showing up. That's the currency is showing up. The values. I'm raising my own kids on the same currency now, not the speeches.
just the showing up, the vow I didn't make out loud, but live every day to bow. I take this in for the grand gesture, it's for the somehow consistent presence that compounds in the trust over years. Nobody's counting the dust, settles on the dramatic. What's left is the must, show up reliability. That's the only thing that's just. The currency is showing up, is the only one that compounds. Not the speech, not the moment, not the impressive sounds. Just the next day and the next day after that. The currency is showing up. The values at the currency is showing up. The values at the currency is showing up. The currency is showing up. Where the values at? What's the whole lesson? He just showed up every game, every time. That was the whole lesson. Yeah. There's a version of my life that branches off at 19. The soft border between the path I took and the path that's the cost of one different decision. The exhaust of the other life, sometimes visible in my peripheral vision. Not metaphorical, actually visible in the faces of guys whose general trajectory split from mine at the same lateral moment. And went somewhere darker, we were equal at 18. Same block, same sequel, waiting to be written. The unequal outcomes years later on about deserving the lethal randomness of which door opens when you're young. And looking for one, I got lucky, the rung of opportunity happened to be hung. Where I could reach it, others reached and found nothing strung. There at all, that's not virtue, that's circumstance. Dress up as choice after the fact, the chance element. Nobody likes admitting the advance. Notice life doesn't give you about which path lives. When no one. The walk I almost took still visits me some nights. The other version of my life still in my sights. Not because I doubt the road I'm on, just the math of how close it came to a different aftermath. The fork I almost took still visits me some nights. The other version of my life still in my sights. Not because I doubt the road I'm on, just the math of how close it came to a different aftermath. Anthony took the fork, I didn't. Same starting point, same pressure, same disappointments piling up the joint. Decision point, we hit together the point. Ed moment when the paths actually diverged. I had somewhere to put my anger, he merged into something to swallow him. We emerged into completely different decades. I've urged myself not to feel guilty about the difference. Survivor's math is its own kind of violence. Against yourself if you let it. The science of who makes it is injustice, it's appliance of luck to circumstance. Anthony's still inside. I visit when I can. The divide between us isn't moral, it's just the tide that carried us different directions from the same wide river we both started in.
Brass stab alone, bass on one, kick hard, vinyl snare two. Brass stab alone, bass on one, kick hard, vinyl snare two.
I don't romanticize the road, not taking the cost. Was real on both sides, nothing was lost. The game without a price, I just know the frost of how thin the difference was, how close the cost. A free version of survival came to go in the other way. That's not guilt, that's just staying honest about luck, about the saying of there, but for fortune about playing myself into thinking I earned all of this alone. I almost took, still visits me some nights. The other version of my life still in my sights. Not because I doubt the road I'm on, just the math of how close it came to a different aftermath. The fork I almost took still visits me some nights. The other version of my life still in my sights. Not because I doubt the road I'm on, just the math of how close it came to a different aftermath. Yeah, 19, same block, same equal start. Anthony's still inside. I visit, my vision lied there, but for fortune. Yo. The pawn shop ticket lived in my wallet for 2 years. The pawn shop ticket lived in my wallet for 2 years.
For the pledge, the engineers of the temporary train, the souvenirs of a hard-won term ticket that ends. I pay eventually.
The pawn shop ticket lived in my wallet for 2 years.
The proof of the pledge, the engineers of the temporary trade, the souvenirs of a hard eventually.
My grandfather's watch when in February, the necessary sacrifice of the temporary for the immediate, the contrary logic of the pawn shop uses sentimental to solve the elemental problem of the rent, the fundamental math of the working poor, the gentle humiliation of the counter transaction. Mr. Ray is counted without distraction. Gave me 40 for a watch worth more. Said it's yours in 90 days. The door stays open that long. I took the call. Decision seriously. The floor of the deadline marked on the ticket. The date circled in my head. I calculate every week how close the weight of the redemption getting greater. The freight of the watch sitting in its case.
The pawn shop ticket lived in my wallet for 2 years. The pawn shop ticket lived in my wallet for 2 years.
Proof of the pledge, the engineers of the temporary trade, the souvenirs
of the dead and moonshine ticket. The arrears I paid eventually.
The pawn shop ticket lived in my wallet for 2 years.
Proof of the pledge, the engineers of the temporary trade, the souvenirs
of a hard month time ticket. The arrears I paid eventually. Day 86 I had $31 saved. Needed 44 with interest to pay. Road of almost there to depraved. Feeling of the closeness I wave off the panic. Work extra shift to find a week. Made it with 2 days left. The technique of the last minute redemption. The antique watch back in my hand. The mystique of getting something back that you nearly lost. Forever that specific cost. And recovery teaches something the frost of almost gone doors until the embossed permanent relief of the redeemed. I wore the watch the next day it gleamed different than before. Not because it seemed different, because I knew what it esteemed. Now the cost of nearly losing. Now the cost of nearly losing it.
Yo, the pawn shop ticket lived in my wallet for 2 years. 2 years, 2 years, 2 years, 2 years. A kick hard vinyl snare too.
Yo. I kept the ticket even after I redeemed it. The receipt of the deemed it worth saving. It seemed it close call 2 years. It sat, I dreamed it. Sometimes the deadline pressure of the watch still runs. The ticket reminds me what almost happens to the things you don't replace. The pawn shop ticket lived in my wallet for 2 years. The proof of the pledge, the engineers of the temporary trade, the souvenirs of a hard month turned into the years I pay eventually. The pawn shop ticket lived in my wallet for 2 years. The proof of the pledge, the engineers of the temporary trade, the souvenirs of a hard month turned into the years I pay eventually. February $40, 90 days. 86, 31 saved. 2 days left redeemed. Still wear it. 2 years. 2 years. 2 years.
Make 'em rock. Make 'em rock. Make 'em rock. Make 'em rock down.
Mr. Beck, way more than the blocks on gossip line.
Make 'em rock down. Make 'em rock. Make 'em rock down.
Mr. Beckway knew more than the blocks on gossip line. Foreclosure notice. Hospital bills, every overdue sign. Passed through his hands first, sorted by zipping by name. He never said a word, that was the whole game. 22 years on the same route, the same buildings, the same names. The frame of his knowledge built from envelopes to claim. Nobody made on his discretion, but the fame of his silence earned over decade. He knew whose marriage was ended from the lawyer's letters. Knew the medical bills piling up. Knew who got accepted to college before the family knew. He delivered all of it with the same flat face. The practice diplomat of unwanted information. The format of his job required a combat between curiosity and professional restraint. He never broken not a single complaint. A comment in 22 years to taint. A gossip never touched him. The quaint, old-fashioned honor of the discreet. Mr. Beckway knew more than the blocks on gossip line. Mr. Beckway knew more than the blocks on gossip line. Mr. Beckway knew more than the blocks on gossip line. Still, the building trusted him with the actual, not the performed face, but the factual. Documents of crisis, the contractual. Silent agreement, deliver the actual truth of people's lives without ever speaking it aloud. That's clever. In a way, nobody credits whoever designed the job. Didn't consider the weight of the knowledge, just the route, the schedule, the timed out delivery windows. Mr. Beckway figured out the unofficial code without training. You see everything, say nothing. The building never tested. There's something in his bearing made the trust automatic. Nothing ever leaked. 22 years of bluffing, small talk while holding everyone's secrets.
Mr. Mondale.
Mr. Beckway knew more than the blocks on gossip line. Gossip line.
Mr. Mondale.
Mr. I bet we do more than the blocks on gossip lines. Mr. I bet we do more than the blocks on gossip lines. He retired in '96, the building threw a party. Nobody quite knew what to say beyond thank you, because thanking him meant acknowledging what he knew without saying it aloud. The new mailman was fine, just different. The residue with trust built over decades doesn't transfer through a handoff. Mr. Abekwe took what he knew with him, that was always the deal. Mr. Abekwe knew more than the blocks on gossip lines. Mr. Abekwe knew more than the blocks on gossip lines. Mr. Abekwe knew more than the blocks on gossip lines. Mr. Abekwe knew more than the blocks on gossip lines. 22 years, every envelope, never a word. Retired in '96, the party. Thank you, he knew why.
I spoke for my parents before I understood what I was saying. The English between them and the world I kept relaying. 9 years old and the translator at every desk and door. I spoke for my parents, that what the language was for. The pediatrician in his office on a Tuesday at 2. My mother and me, the flu through English of the nurse, the clue. A mama, the space going to the place it went. When the words outran her, I meant to help. I translated the bent version of the medical, the spent vocabulary of a 9-year-old, interpreting the cold medical into the controlled domestic language. The bold simplification of the diagnosis, the genesis of the approximation, the nemesis of the precise. The premise was good, the execution was 9 years old. The resolution reached through the joint contribution of my translation and the institution of the patient nurse who also mom. My mother understood I'd rhyme together 2 worlds to climb. Mountain of the daily, the time performance of the bilingual child. For my parents, I understood what I was saying. For my parents. I spoke for my parents, but understood what I was saying. The electric company, the landlord, the school, the church, the tortoise world of the American bureaucracy, the civilian version of the institutional. I was the conditional, bridge of functional, transitional technology of the household. My father bold in every other context, controlled and certain, became enrolled in my delivery. The moment English entered the component of the product, the moment required it, he set aside the atonement he made was trusting 9 years old with his dignity, this bold in a different way. The enrolled child trusted the control, responsibility. I didn't always translate correctly. I knew this the perfectly imperfect bridge to directly approximate. My parents knew they let me do it anyway. The view they had of me was long. They knew the weight they gave me would accrue into something they were right. I spoke for my parents, but understood what I was saying. I spoke for my parents. I spoke for my parents, but understood what I was saying. Spoke for my parents, but understood what I was saying. I'm fluent in both now. When I translate for my parents, the plow of it is different, precise now. The exact word, the somehow correct register, but I missed the 9-year-old version. The imprecise immersion of the approximate, the conversion by field conversion into what I knew. My parents still look at me the same way at every desk I see. It's not the words they need from me, it's just me there with them. That's the key. The translation was always secondary. I was saying, the pediatrician, the landlord,
after school, 9 years old. Approximate. My parents trusted me anyway, still do.
The AM radio. The AM radio. AM radio, the dial cracking through the static. Sunday drive, the automatic. Pilot of the boulevard, the emphatic. Bass of the engine, the pragmatic. Joy of going absolutely nowhere. Yeah. Sunday and the avenue was empty at 11. The parking spot I found at 7, still holding the Buick. The 11 of the morning riser, the heaven of the unplanned day, no destination. Just the gas and the radio station, crackling gold, the AM, the nation of the Sunday driver, the fixation. On the road itself, I take the bridge. Staten Island, the ridge of the highway opening, the fridge of the morning air, the bridge, toll paid in quarters, the passage between boroughs, the massage of the tires on the highway, the message of the open road, the assemblage, AM radio, the dial cracking through the static. Sunday drive, the automatic, pilot of the boulevard, the emphatic, bass of the engine, the pragmatic, joy of going absolutely nowhere. The radio finds a gospel station somewhere past the bridge. The ridge, a Staten Island unrolling. The privilege of the mobile Sunday, the spillage of the city behind me, the village feel of the South Shore, the pillage of the week undone by the tillage of the drive. I park by the water and watch the ships, the notch of the horizon holding everything, the scotch tape of the Sunday put in the botch of the week back together, the car idling, the radio finding another star, the AM dial, the far reach of the signal, the bizarre AM radio, the dive wrecking to the static. Sunday drive, the automatic, pilot of the boulevard, the emphatic, bass of the engine, the pragmatic, joy of going absolutely nowhere. The drive back is different, the afternoon light, turning the bridge gold in the sight of Manhattan from the highway to kite of the skyline in the distance to right. Turn on to the avenue, the cruise complete, the fuse of the Sunday lit and burning, the muse of the aim and strive, the refuse of the scheduled life left behind from an afternoon. The boom of the Buick in the AM tune, the crone of the gospel station fading back to static, the emphatic return to the city, the pragmatic into the automatic. AM radio, the dial cracking through the static. Sunday drive, the automatic, pilot of the boulevard, the emphatic, bass of the engine, the pragmatic, joy of going absolutely nowhere. The Buick Park, the Buick Park, the Buick, AM radio, the Buick Park, the Buick Park, the bar, AM radio, Buick Park, the Buick Park, the Buick Park, AM radio, the Buick Park, the Buick Park, the Buick, AM radio, AM radio.
Yo, I make it out the right way. From the jump, yo, get out the right way. From the jump, I said I make it out the right way. From the jump, yo, get out the right way. From the jump, I said I make it out the right way. From the jump, I said I'd make it out the right way. I said I make it out the right way. From the jump, I said I'd make it out the right way. I said I make it out the right way. From the jump, I said I'd make it out the right way. I said I make it out the right way. From the jump, I said I'd make it out the right way. From the jump. 17 with the notebook and the dream in the notebook. No blueprint, no connect, no second look from anyone who had the map I needed. Just the vision in the years of the unheeded. Work that built the thing before the thing existed. My mother said, you stubborn, I said, I'm consistent. Those are different and the difference is the outcome. Stubborn hits the wall and screams the income of the consistent is the wall becomes a door. If you keep working at the same place, that's the law of the decade of the practice before anyone is watching. From the jump I had the plan, I kept notching the small ones on the belt while the big one was still years ahead. Still undone,
still theoretical. That's the jump to place before the proof where you decide to stay in the race to make it out the right way.
From the jump, I said I'd make it out the right way.
I said I'd make it out the right way.
From the jump, I said I'd make it out the right way.
From the jump, I said I'd make it out the right way.
From the jump, I said I'd make it out the right way.
From the jump, I said I'd make it out the right way.
From the jump, I said I'd make it out the right way.
Year 4 was the year I almost talked myself out of it. The math was close, but not close enough to shout about it. One more year of the deposit with no return visible. The faith was at the level of the minimal. I told nobody, kept the doubt internal, and kept working at the same external rate as the years when the faith was full. That's the jump sustained through the pull of the reasonable. Be reasonable, just accept. I didn't accept, I kept year 5, the compound broke the surface for the first time. Not the breakthrough, just the first sign that the years were not a waste of the particular life. The first signal in the noise, the first night for light in the room I've been building in the dark. From the jump to the light is the whole law. From the jump.
From the jump, I said I'd make it out the right way.
Jump, I said I'd make it out the right way.
From the jump, I said I'd make it out the right way.
Jump, I said I'd make it out the right way.
From the jump, I said I'd make it out the right way.
From the jump, I said I'd make it out the right way.
From the jump, I said I'd make it out the right way.
Now I tell the story at the workshop, and the room gets quiet at the year 4 part. The gloom of the almost quit is universal. Everybody has the year 4 in their own body. The moment the reasonable said enough, I tell them stay past the reasonable. That's the stuff. The outcome is made up from the jump to the now is exactly the distance of the how. From the jump.
From the jump, I said I'd make it out the right way.
Jump, I said I'd make it out the right way.
From the jump, I said I'd make it out the right way.
Jump, I said I'd make it out the right way.
From the jump, I said I'd make it out the right way.
Jump, I said I'd make it out the right way.
From the jump, I said I'd make it out the right way.
17 with the notebook, still writing from the jump. From the jump, from the jump, I make it up the right way. From the jump, 17 with the notebook, still writing from the jump. From the jump, something up it out the right way. From the jump.
From the jump, I said I'd make it out the right way.
2 locks on the door since the break-in last July. 2 locks on the door since the break-in last July. 2 locks on the door since the break-in last July. My mother added the second one, didn't ask me why. I knew already. The building changed that summer. 2 locks on the door, the new normal, the number. The first lock had been enough for 11 years. Standard issue, the engineers of the building's original design. The tiers of security adequate. The frontiers of safety shifted in June when the Petersons, 3 doors down, got hit. The patterns of the building's confidence cracking the lanterns of the hallway suddenly inadequate. The matters of the actual versus the assumed. Security, my mother resumed the conversation about the second lock, consumed by the practical. The room where the locksmith worked for 20 minutes felt different after the limits of the apartment's vulnerability visible in the brass cylinder. The negligible cost of the lock against the felt difference in how the door dealt with the night. Now 2 clicks instead of 1. 2 locks on the door since the break-in last July. Round for the now with Judd. 2 locks on the door since the break-in last July. Round for the now with Judd. 2 locks on the door since the break-in last July. Round for the now with Judd. 2 locks on the door since the break-in last July. Now for the now with Judd. I started noticing the sound of the second lock, the specific click that meant the clock of the evening had reached its final mark. The dock of the night secured the shock of the Peterson's door kicked in, faded into the routine of the upgraded door. 6 months later, the building graded itself differently. 3 more degraded apartments installed the same upgrade. The math of fear spreading door to door. The path of the precaution traveling the building's bath of awareness. 2 locks became the aftermath of 1 incident, multiplied by the builder's memory. The applied lesson of the Petersons, we complied quietly, most buildings do. 2 locks on the door since the break-in last July. Now for the now with Chuck. 2 locks on the door since the break-in last July. Now for the now with Chuck. 2 locks on the door since the break-in last July.
Now for the now with ya. 2 locks on the door since the breaking last July. Now for the now with ya.
5 years later, I still check both locks twice. Not from fear, exactly. The device of the habit installed alongside the device of the lock itself. The price of safety is sometimes just the double motion. To check and recheck devotion to the secure, the slow erosion of the assumed safe, the promotion of vigilance, the routine. 2 locks on the door since the breaking last July. Now for the now with ya. 2 locks on the door since the breaking last July. Now for the now with ya. 2 locks on the door since the breaking last July. Now for the now with ya. 2 locks on the door since the breaking last July. Now for the now with ya. July the Petersons, the locksmith. 20 minutes, 2 clicks. Now I still check both. July.
Yeah.
First suit from the outlet, $50 press clean. The mirror showed the version I had only seen in the catalogs. The outlet scheme, $50 looking like the American dream. First suit from the outlet, $50 press clean. The mirror showed the version I had only seen in the catalogs. The outlet scheme, $50 looking like the American dream. The outlet on Flatbush had a rack in the back where the sizes nobody wanted sat to track or the overlook. The almanac of the irregular. I found the black 2-piece pinstripe that somebody returned. The tag said $120, but the earn discount of the outlet, the burn price $52 the turn. Down collar of the interview suit, the pursuit of the presentation, the substitute for the money I didn't have. The astute shopping of the interview bound, the recruit of the corporate world via the destitute. Rack of the outlet, the prosecute strategy of the $50 suit, the fruit. First suit from the outlet, $50 press clean. The mirror showed a version I had only seen in the catalogs. The outlet scheme, $50 looking like the American dream. Victor pressed it for me, said the crease is everything. The sing of the iron on the fabric, the ring of the spray bottle, the sting of the starch. Victor's pressing was the wing that the suit needed. The fling of the iron across the shoulder, the bring of the dead fabric to life. The sling of the finished product on the hanger, the string of the transformation from the $50 rack to the interview ready. The knack of the press suit on a broke back, the hack of the presentation, stack of the confidence in the crease, the almanac of the first impression. Victor's track, record with the iron, the exact science of the press, the pack. First suit from the outlet, $50 press clean. The mirror showed the version I had only seen in the catalogs. The outlet scheme, $50 looking like the American dream. The interview was on Chamber Street, the ride downtown in the suit, the wide berth, the train gave me the slide of the fabric on the plastic seat. The pride of the outlet rack made invisible the divisible line between the 50 and the visible. 500 the permissible illusion of the press suit, the kissable, clean of the collar, the dismissible illusion of the fabric, the transmissible confidence of the crease. I got the gig, the big reveal of the $50 rig to the HR woman never happened to fig. Leave for the outlet, the jig, first suit from the outlet, $50 press clean. The mirror showed a version I had only seen in the catalogs. The outlet scheme, $50 looking like the American dream. The suit lasted 2 years, the crease Victor set, held through 11 interviews. The debt of the $50 were paid in the sweat of opportunity. The outlet, the bet.